even Kim. So I met Kim on the Patriot account.
And we're talking
And
Kim Coulter, just
yes,
for the listeners.
yes, Kim Coulter.
Our
We
first
have,
Skype interview, actually.
yes, yeah, actually. So I listened to her BitChute, and then I heard her with you guys. But I've been following her kind of on Periscope for a little while, and then she started the gun group, which I was really excited to try and work on and get involved in as much as I could. Work on and get involved in as much as I could. Work on and get involved in as much as I could.
Yeah, and
But
just to shout her out, that's Motivated Gun Girls of America on Instagram, for those of you interested.
the MAGOA, I think, is what our
The
handle is.
Magua is what I call
Yeah. Well,
Magua.
it's supposed to be like MAGA, obviously. But there's an O for of.
But it's more like Magri. What do they call
Mag-
from?
I got fired after passing out and getting sick last winter, after being at that job for years, by the way.
I didn't know they could fire you for medical conditions.
They can't, but it's a right to work state, so they just said it wasn't working out. But it was after I had an episode. So
We
it
have
was
the right
kind
to fire you for any reason at any time.
of, and we
Yeah.
won't tell you why.
Did it work?
I mean, I've actually never in my life been fired. I don't think, actually, now that I'm thinking about it.
Me neither. I almost got fired.
I got fired after passing out and getting sick last winter, after being at that job for years, by the way.
I didn't know they could fire you for medical conditions.
They can't, but it's a right to work state, so they just said it wasn't working out. But it was after I had an episode. So
We
it
have
was
the right
kind
to fire you for any reason at any time.
and we
Yeah.
won't tell you why.
Did it work?
I mean, I've actually never in my life been fired. I don't think, actually, now that I'm thinking about it.
Me
But
neither. I almost got fired.
outside, because I think
Yes.
I usually will start to elaborate, and then everybody gets distracted. This always happens, by the way. And then people are like, wait, did you tell me about that? I'm like, I did, but I don't think I finished. Okay. So if you walk into the sunlight, so basically my body, it just doesn't like, your pupils are supposed to constrict in the sun, right? That's part of your autonomic system. You do not tell your pupils to constrict, but if they do
Right.
not constrict, you have a major problem and risk, burning your retinas. Your body is supposed to do that for you. So mine doesn't, and it can affect all sorts of different functions. And
Yeah, for instance, would that affect, like, if you had an irritation in your throat, would you not naturally cough up? Because would that be affected as well? Because that's sort of an auto response as well, isn't it?
I think probably mildly. I don't even know what the eye thing, but I will tell you, I don't get headaches now that I wear sunglasses and a hat all the time. And I love being outside. Like, I love being in the sun. I love the sun. I get really bad depression. So I love the sun. But
Yeah, that's a problem for myself as well. Whenever it gets overcast for multiple days at a time, it really fucks with me.
you have seasonal depression. But yeah, so long story short, my blood pressure doesn't regulate. So it'll just plummet and then it won't like readjust. So what happens then is my heart rate will skyrocket. And it will get to the point where if I'm not able to sit down, I will pass out. And so I used to pass out sometimes like in the shower in the morning. So heat is a big problem. So summer's here.
I bet they thought you were anemic for a long time, didn't they?
I was anemic actually, but you can fix that with diet. So I mean, I eat.
Right, but I mean, as far as like getting dizzy and needing to sit down, a lot of time, I mean, it's either blood pressure or anemia that I usually hear that is causing.
I don't actually think that they had a theory. So I had so many migraines when I was a kid. Like, I literally had surgeries probably since my toddlerhood. Like, I've had okay, so I had tonsils when I was like a toddler, and then I had a hernia surgery when I was like 9 or 10, and then I had eye muscle surgery.
How do you get a hernia at 9 or 10 years old?
Actually, I was born with it. And,
Well, that's different.
That goes because I've had multiple cents. That goes back with the POTS, which is postural orthostatic tachycardia, my condition, where there's a lot of connective tissue.
Hold on, say it one more time.
Yeah, I know, right? That's the fucking problem. Exactly.
No, it's fine. I like it. I just want to hear it again. It was a fun word. It's like supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
It needs a fucking name because you are laughing about it, but no one remembers it. And then they stare at you like you're crazy when you do talk about it.
Yeah, okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. It's stupid. I can't. If I move up and down in a position like too quickly, I'll get really dizzy because my blood pressure can't maintain itself sometimes. So that's part of the orthostatic. And then they say hypotension, which is low blood pressure. Hyper is high.
Right.
So long story short with that, though, I will tell you, no, I've been tracking a lot of my own stuff myself because my doctors never did. And then my parents had to pay like $3,000 out of pocket, even though I had insurance here, to take me to a proper specialist in the network when I went to Ohio this summer. So yeah, there's so much to it. We could literally talk forever, but the bottom line is when I started getting sick, I just started really paying more attention because I was working so much.
Now, when you say I'm sorry, when you say you started paying more attention, are you talking about to what you eat as far as deciding to be vegan?
And politics, all of
So,
it. Like,
because it all does kind of go hand in hand if you
it really does, and I
go
didn't
deep
mean
into it.
for it to. I mean, I ethically went vegan. My vegan situation, and I will eat a dead, shot to the head, non-suffered freaking deer. Like, I don't think that we were made to not eat meat, to be quite frank. However, putting things back into their natural order. Did you watch that Earthling Ed and Millie Weaver video I sent you guys?
Oh,
Any chance?
I think I
No,
saw it.
I didn't see that,
Yeah,
that you even sent anything.
No, but
I try to stay off social. I try and leave that to him.
yeah,
A lot of the time.
I
I get a little
saw
lost.
it. I'm pretty sure I saw it when it came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I follow Millie Weaver too.
They probably have one of like the most. I'll probably refer that to anybody, like if they ask me about my views, because everything she debated with him, I debate with myself. So like I get all of her points, and I get a lot of people's points about, you know, I don't know, with the environment, I'm very environmental, but I don't think America can do much more. So there's all sorts of things that make you question, right? Like, why are we giving the government more money to problems we cannot really actually fix based off of how much money we give them? Like, you know, I really started to connect the dots. It was like, why are vegans getting censored? Why are conservatives getting censored? Or for that matter, anybody who's not entirely far left. Why are we all having our like thought processes kind of are really hard to find research for? It's just like weird, and you get this mainstream rhetoric constantly, and you have a lot of censorship with vegan stuff, and you have to wonder, why would there be an egg gag law in place, right?
Oh yeah.
But I personally, until I know how to like hunt for myself, I really don't want to eat meat. I have no interest in it because I don't trust really anybody. What you're describing makes so much sense because you're running, you're losing fluids. Well, people with what I have don't really lose fluids. Some of us don't sweat at all. I sweat from my stomach, so that's why I wear a lot of crop tops. Sweat from my stomach, so that's why I wear a lot of crop tops. Sweat from my stomach, so that's why I wear a lot of crop tops.
Whole anti-vax thing.
Well, yeah.
That's
I mean,
what it
but there's
was.
anti-vaxxers for different reasons.
Yeah,
Like
it wasn't that we don't believe in vaccines. And I'll tell you, like, I mean, in school we studied vaccines, so like I'm familiar with what goes in them. I'm not super comfortable with it, but they
Real
have.
quick, what did you study?
Well, I was going for equine veterinary, but I got my degree in vet tech. And then when I started getting like too sick, I mean, I got treated like complete crap in school, which was funny because it was medical school, and I had a diagnosis. But I had like all of my peers like pretty much just completely. I was treated pretty shitty towards the end, and I had some friends that were like still my friends. But if you know me, you know that like you don't me like don't just be a fucking retard, or I will fuck you up. Like, just don't come at me. Like, just leave me alone. You know, like let me live. That's me. And if I feel cornered, I'm usually not who you want to corner. But
You feisty.
Oh, I can be. I'm not normally though, and like that's,
Yeah, okay. Anybody who has to say that is definitely more feisty than they let on. Let's not kid ourselves.
I have it in me. Oh, absolutely.
I try and tell people I'm not really an asshole. I just like to joke around a lot. Like, well, the people that usually say that to me, I kind of think are assholes. So I think I might just be an asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone's